back, everybody. It is lovely to see you all again. This week we're looking at thigh flexibility. So we're going to be working on adductors on the inner part of the thigh, quadriceps, hamstrings. If you're a part of the Adam Walder Pilates Facebook group, each month we do challenges, and this month is all about getting into the deep squat position. So we've already done previous videos on calf stretches to work on ankle range of motion, but I wanted to work on thighs and just gradually work our way up the legs basically to help us get into that position. But it also doubles up as a nice way of helping people with back problems as well. So if you have any lower back pain, this one is also good for you. So again, if you like what you're seeing in any of the other previous videos and in this one, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a subscribe so you can be notified of any videos that we've got coming out. But in the meantime, let's get going. So we're going to start off with hamstring flexibility first. They're the ones that the muscles that go down the back of your thighs here. If we're looking at going into the deep squat position, what can happen is you start to squat down. If you're tight underneath here, that starts to pull you that way and it rounds your back off, and you may find that then you're not able to fully get into that full squat position. So we're going to come down onto your back. I'm using a band here. Now again, this could easily be a towel just wrapped up, and you could use that. That's not a problem at all. Basically what we're going to do here is we're going to put the band around the foot here. I'm just going to set up my timer as well, because we're going to do a minute on each side in just a second. So basically what we're looking to do here now is put the band around your foot. We're going to have the leg nice and straight, and we're just going to pull up towards your head. Now if you wanted to get a bit of extra work into those calves as well, you can also get the foot coming down towards the floor, but because I'm just looking to mainly get the hamstrings at the minute, I'm going to keep going with the foot just in a relaxed position. I'm not going to flex it down. So it's up to you though. If you want to go into the calves, you can, because that's also again for purposes of getting into that deep squat position. Ankle range of motion and calf tightness can be one of the big restricting factors in doing it. So we're going to just hang out here. We're going to take some big deep breaths. If you find that as you breathe out you can start pulling in a little bit further, be my guest, you're more than welcome to. Don't force it though, just go to wherever we can, and we're just going to take some big deep breaths into it. Alright, this is 1 minute on this side, and then we're going to swap over legs. Now, like I say, this is August's monthly challenge here is the full squat position, holding it for 5 minutes. As I'm sure at any point in the future when you're watching this, you can tell it's August because of the fact I'm wearing a jumper. It's grotty outside. Anyway, we've done 1 minute on that one, so we're swapping over legs. So we're putting the leg in, so again, leg straight, just pulling up towards your head. Okay. Now, this is somewhere that generally a lot of people tend to be quite stiff. In my Pilates classes, I will sort of do hamstring stretches and things in my cool down, and a lot of times people can be quite surprised by how they can't reach their toes. So important to try and keep working on that, but it is also equally important to work on the other bits that we're going to be going to in just a minute. We're going to work our way around the thighs basically, because the other ones you may not realise about are the adductors, which are the next ones we're going to do, which is going to be onto the inner part of the thighs. And I'll explain a bit more about that in a minute, but if you get the chance to join the Adam Walder Pilates Facebook group, get involved. Show us what you can do. Let's have a look at some of those deep squats. We do different monthly challenges each month now, and I always give you the links to the StartStrong series videos and things. And you can always contact me and ask any questions, or pop along to a class as well. Always more than welcome. So get involved. Right, so we've done the hamstrings on both sides. Okay, so that's the back of the thighs. Now, the next bit that I wanted to talk about is what are called your adductor muscles, and they're the muscles on the inner parts of the thighs here. Now, you may not even realise that these are particularly stiff, but generally speaking, because of where they originate up on the pelvis, up at the top, if you're getting any kind of lower back pain, generally speaking, you tend to have tight adductors with it. But also as well, when you're looking to do the deep squat position, if you're tight in that position there, you're not going to be able to drive your knees out very well, okay? Because you'll find that your knees kind of want to cave in a little bit like that, and then trying to drive out and stay in that position is going to be quite a challenge. So what we're going to do is do one of the more glamorous exercises that we'll be doing here on this channel, which is where we're going to find a wall space. Okay, I like this one because you don't have to fight to be in it. We're basically going to sit sideways onto the wall and then spin around so you can be nice and close up to the wall, and then the feet are just coming out to the sides. Alright, so again, we're going to go for 2 minutes on this one because again, you may find that these are really quite particularly stiff. Okay, if you feel over time you can just start gradually working your way down on this, you're more than welcome to. I think what would be amazing on this one is to see, you know, when you upload a video to YouTube and they, you know, get a thumbnail of the video. This would be great if this was the thumbnail for it. That would just make my day. I know you can upload sort of custom thumbnails, but I haven't really got around to doing that yet. So if this particular image right now becomes a thumbnail, fantastic. That would be just absolutely brilliant. But anyway, going back to that Pilates group again, yeah. So always can be in there for sort of hints and tips and stuff. We're going to do different challenges and things. So I want to try and be doing things that people could be doing at home. So you know, I can imagine, you know, you're just doing this at home. Your significant other comes home and sort of like, what are you doing? And then you can explain, well, there's this weird bloke on YouTube that tells us to do these sorts of things to help us get into squats and help us with our lower back pain. Now, like I was saying, you should feel this right down the inner thighs here. You might feel it down towards the knees because again, that's all interconnected down to there too. It's, again, always surprises people just how tight they are here. I always find it really impressive when people are able to go into like the splits position, or they're able to sort of, you know, sit with their feet out wide and then just fold forwards. I think that's just really quite impressive. There's a few people that can do it at class, and I think, yeah, that's always yeah, a very good thing to be able to do. But again, it is something that, again, the reason I like to keep you in these positions for a little while longer than maybe you would maybe you would actually want to be in them. The reason for that is because after a bit of time you start to notice the muscles relax and sink off. So you may have seen there, like as I'm doing this, I mean, I'm certainly not the most flexible person in the world, but just by being in this position I start to relax and I can gradually start edging my feet down a little bit further towards the floor and then loosening up a little bit. Whereas if I was there for sort of say 20-30 seconds, I might not. So once we've then done that one, we should be feeling a lot nicer and looser through the inner thighs there. You might feel the hips are moving a little bit better. We're then going to go into quadriceps, which are the muscles down the front of the thighs here. Now, of course, you've probably done the classic kind of you know, standing up and doing the foot to your bottom kind of stretch like that. You may think, yeah, fine, you know, quadriceps, absolutely no problem at all, nice and flexible. Give this one a go, and yeah, let me know how you find it, because you may find you think, oh yeah, this is really quite horrendous. Basically what we're doing here now, you might want to put a cushion of something underneath your knee on this one, because what we're looking to do is up against the wall, I'm going to bring my knee right up against the wall, okay, so my foot is up against it, okay. Now you may find that that in of itself is just plenty, in which case you can just stay there and just breathe, okay. Now what we want to try and be able to do here is squeeze through your bottom and just stay in position to get this stretch. If that's not enough, what we can do is then bring the other foot forwards. Now again, I'm starting to feel a bit of a stretch there, so again we want to make sure that we can squeeze through your bottom. That's the thing, so you don't want to be just hanging on your spine, so squeeze your bottom. If you can keep that, that's brilliant. If that's enough of a stretch, stay there. If you want to come up one more and go right up to the top, then you certainly can do. Okay, now this is going to be 1 minute on this one. I'm just going to adjust my knee just a tiny little bit there. There we go, that's better. So again, what we're looking at is squeezing your bottom, okay, and just trying to stay in that position. Now I want to make sure that you're keeping the ribcage down. You're not just arching too much and putting too much pressure into that back. I really just want to hang out here and just breathe and try and let this relax whilst keeping your bottom squeezed, okay. So deep breathing, and this really takes pressure off of the pelvis. I mean, a lot of times with lower back pain, a lot of times people sort of focus on the back itself and they start trying to stretch it, you know, they're loosening all of that off. But it can actually be largely down in the legs where problems occur. So adductors, quadriceps, sometimes hamstrings as well, can all play a role in how our back is feeling and if our pelvis is being pulled into a position it doesn't want to be in. So a lot of times with clients and one-to-ones and classes and things, when they come in with back pain, quite often I'm not actually focusing on the back at all. It's usually somewhere else where the problem is coming from. Then we can work on strengthening through your back as well. Right, so first leg done, that's that sorted. So then we'll swap you over. So again, knee right in, up against the wall. Okay, the other foot is up against the wall there. And we just bring you in and up. Okay, now again, if you find that any of those stages beforehand are enough, just stay there. So you can stay down towards the ground, you can bring the foot forwards and stay down, or you can try and bring your upper body into it as well. But if you do, again, just remember, don't arch that back. Okay, so keep squeezing, and let's just try and let that leg relax out. All right, again, deep breathing. So what we're doing future weeks as well here, because you know, we want to try and get people trying this squat challenge, see if we can help improve our position over the course of the month. What we're going to do is look at hips directly next time, so really loosening those off, and then we can work up a little bit higher too. But the squat position is an interesting one because it's something that we lose when we start going to school. When we're sat down in chairs all day, we start to tighten up, and then over the course of years, that's when we really start to loosen. That's when we really start to tighten up. We have to start then doing other things to help loosen ourselves off. So it's an interesting one to sort of see how people find it, because a lot of times, yeah, we find it a lot more difficult than we think it'll actually be. All right. So once we've done all of that, that's quite a nice one to do for lower back pain. Good for maintenance. Good for helping to get us into this squat position. Because again, now that I've done that, I can come into that, and I actually feel quite a lot looser just being in that already. Okay, so I can be up a little bit taller, because again, any of those that of you saw me in the Pilates group a little while ago, when I first started doing this at the beginning of the month, I was very much kind of rounded off like this, whereas after doing that, I mean, I'm not perfect anywhere near, but I can still get a little bit higher now after doing all of that mobility. So there's still a lot of work to be done. You know, if I say I'm not perfect on any of this, but that's what I like about it, because it's just as much about my journey as it is yours as well. So, you know, my focus is always on helping bring you guys up, but it's to show you as well that there's still things that I'm working on, and you know, it's more part of the game, more fun, and yeah, I love it. So, see you next time, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything, or if you're finding any of these particularly beneficial. But in the meantime, have fun, take care, see you next time.